across the rolling plains of southern Africa, in a time of shifting kingdoms, rising conflict, and uncertain futures, a single warrior would rise from humiliation, exile, and scorn to forge one of the most formidable forces the continent had ever seen. A man feared by enemies, revered by followers, and remembered by history as both a brilliant military innovator and a ruthless, unpredictable force of nature. This is the story of Shaka Zulu, the man who weaponized fear, the king who turned scattered clans into the Zulu Empire, and the leader whose tactics reshaped warfare forever. But greatness never arrives without blood, and for Shaka, every victory carried a shadow, and every triumph sowed the seeds of his downfall. Stay with us as we uncover how a child born in disgrace became one of history's most feared rulers, and how his empire rose in fire and collapsed in betrayal. The year is around 1787. Zululand, lush, unpredictable, a world ruled by cattle, kinship, and warriors. Shaka is born into the small Zulu clan, the illegitimate son of Chief Senzangakona and a woman named Nandi. But instead of being welcomed as a prince, Shaka's life begins in humiliation. His birth is seen as dishonorable, and he and his mother are cast out. They wander from village to village, mocked, hungry, ridiculed. The boy grows, but hatred grows with him. Imagine a child, barefoot in the veld, teeth clenched as other children throw insults. Imagine a mother, fierce yet helpless, whispering to her son, "You were not born to bow to anybody." Shaka learns early that the world respects only strength, and so he begins to carve strength into his bones. Herding cattle becomes training. Wooden sticks become spears. Every slight, every insult becomes fuel. By his teenage years, Shaka is tall, muscular, deadly agile. But he is also scarred by humiliation, and humiliation for Shaka becomes a reason to conquer or destroy. Shaka joins the Mfecane kingdom, ruled by the powerful Chief Dingiswayo. Here, surrounded by warriors, he finds purpose. He trains relentlessly, mastering agility, stamina, and strength. But Shaka is not simply strong. He is strategic, observant, and unafraid to question tradition. Under Dingiswayo, Shaka rises quickly. His brilliance is undeniable. And yet, beneath every victory lies a simmering rage. Rage at the world that once rejected him, and a burning belief that destiny has chosen him for far more than service. Then fate intervenes. Shaka's father dies. Dingiswayo sees opportunity. With his patron's support, Shaka claims leadership of the small Zulu clan. But he will not remain small for long. When Shaka takes command, the Zulu are a minor tribe. Within a decade, he will turn them into the most feared military machine in southern Africa. He begins with revolution, not slow change, not gentle suggestion. Revolution by force, by genius, by terror. He shortens the spear shaft and creates the éclat, a stabbing spear designed for close combat. He broadens the shield and drills warriors to use it offensively, smashing into enemies, holding them, stabbing at point-blank range. He creates the bull-horn formation, a sweeping tactic where the center engages, the horns encircle, and the loins hold in reserve to crush resistance. He reorganizes society itself. Age regiments, barracks, constant training, loyalty above kinship, above comfort, above life. And most importantly, he instills fear, not just in enemies, in his own ranks. A warrior who fled battle? Executed. A recruit who showed weakness? Beaten or killed. Entire villages resisting Zulu authority? Destroyed. Cattle seized. Survivors absorbed or scattered. To outsiders, he is a tyrant. To followers, he is a god of war. And through brutal discipline and brilliant innovation, Shaka transforms the Zulu from pastoral tribesmen into a relentless war machine. One by one, rival chiefdoms fall. Mthethwa territories, Nandwandwe forces, small clans swallowed or crushed. By the mid-1820s, the Zulu kingdom stretches across fertile valleys, rivers, and plains. Cattle multiply, people bow, songs praise his name. But mastery over land is never enough for a man haunted by childhood humiliation. Shaka seeks mastery over hearts and minds, and so he turns fear into policy. Shaka's rise unleashes a storm across southern Africa, a time known as the mfecane, meaning the crushing or the scattering. Villages flee in terror. Mass migrations reshape entire regions. New states emerge as leaders adopt Shaka's methods or flee from them. Historians debate whether Shaka alone caused the mfecane, or whether drought, trade pressures, and regional rivalries contributed. But there is no doubt his rise amplifies chaos. Some call it genocide. Others call it a necessary forge of nationhood. To Shaka, it is destiny at work. His armies march for days without sandals. They run barefoot to toughen their feet. They sleep on cold ground. They are forbidden marriage, forbidden softness, forged into tools of empire. And through brutal efficiency, Shaka achieves what no southern African ruler had before: a centralized, militarized nation-state. But power isolates even the greatest kings, and the seeds of tragedy lie beneath every triumph. At the height of his power, Shaka stands unmatched. European traders meet him and describe him as commanding, intense, unpredictable, with a piercing gaze and a mind always calculating. He dreams of diplomacy and modern weaponry. He welcomes traders, exchanges ideas. He sees a future where the Zulu stand equal to the kingdoms across the sea. Yet for all his brilliance, Shaka is tormented. The ghosts of betrayal, exile, and struggle never leave him. His rule grows harsher. Paranoia festers. Then, in 1827, tragedy strikes. Nandi, the mother who once shielded him from shame, dies. Grief consumes Shaka.
He orders mourning on a scale the world has rarely seen. For months, crops go unplanted. No milk is consumed. Pregnant women are killed, believing no child should be born while a great queen lies dead. Thousands die in forced grief. To his people, this is the act of a king losing touch with humanity. To his enemies, an opening. Shaka, once disciplined and strategic, becomes erratic, suspicious, violent in grief. And in this darkness, betrayal takes root. On a hot day in 1828, Shaka walks near a hut at Kwadukuza, surrounded by trusted men. Among them, his half-brothers Dingane and Mlangana, and a loyal warrior, Mopa. As Shaka speaks, Mopa steps forward. A blade flashes. Shaka turns, shocked. "Have you no mercy?" he cries. Another strike, then another. Dingane steps closer, whispering words lost to history, words of greed, fear, and ambition. Shaka falls, the warrior king betrayed by his own blood. His body is buried secretly, the great Zulu Emperor swallowed by the same earth he once conquered. The empire, his empire, passes to Dingane. The age of Zulu supremacy continues, but the age of Shaka, the Stormbringer, ends in blood and dust. History remembers Shaka Zulu in contradictions. A tyrant, a genius, a visionary leader who united a nation, a brutal conqueror whose methods reshaped an entire region. Like Alexander, like Napoleon, like Genghis Khan, he embodies both brilliance and terror. He transformed warfare. He forged a nation from scattered clans. He carved a legacy so powerful that centuries later, the name Zulu still evokes strength, discipline, and fearlessness. And his story reminds us of history's eternal truth. Greatness and destruction often walk side by side, and those who bend the world to their will seldom escape the weight of their own legends.